Hello everyone, this is Ella, your friendly advisor in Ireland. I'm doing the third episode of the job hunting series in Ireland. It is a very special episode as we are going to talk about applying from India, basically job hunting from India. Today I have a special guest, Mr. Tejas Varade. Thanks Tejas for accepting my invitation to be part of this job hunting web video series.
Thank you for inviting me.
Viewers, a bit of introduction about Tejas Varade. Mr. Tejas Varade is currently working as a full-time contact center developer software at Planet 21 Communications Limited. He has over 10 years of working experience in Cisco technologies and has worked in India before he moved to Ireland. He primarily worked in the IT industry as a software engineer developer. I have him in this call to help you with your job hunting from outside Ireland, primarily from India. Hi, Mr. Tejas. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. I'm good. I hope you had your lunch.
Yeah.
So without further questions, without further ado, I'll just dive into the questions I have for you,
Yeah.
for my viewers.
Good. Good.
Can you talk a bit about your personal and professional background, which I did not cover in my basic introduction?
Okay. So, talking about personal background is I am basically from Maharashtra, born and brought up in Nagpur, and then moved to Pune, the IT hub. I was working there as a software developer, and was working there around 8 years or so, 8 9 years, and then I started job hunting, and then finally I'm here. But and majorly I'm more into contact center technologies. I've worked on different contact center technologies, including Cisco and Nice, and everything you name it, I have worked on it. So that that is it. And about almost over 10 plus years of experience now. So mm, that is it about all.
Okay. So when you say Nagpur, I mean, I have my own experiences in Nagpur. These orange sweets based
Yeah,
on that's those are
correct.
really good. And
There.
yeah, and Bakarwadi also had really nice Bakarwadi in Nagpur.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That was
Nagpur is
last
nice.
one.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's good to know that you worked on different technologies, but again, moved to Mumbai and I mean, within Maharashtra, you've been there, and you moved to Ireland. And when did you move to Ireland, and why did you move to Ireland? From the comforts of the home.
Yeah. So I mean, being in the software industry, like it's every software engineer thinks like he should go on site, he should work
Yeah,
out of India for some years, and then at least come back or settle down there. So that was also in somewhere in the back of my head. So
yeah,
since I got my first job, I have been trying to push my company to send me on site, and also like a typical software developer
yeah.
has. So but and somehow it didn't went through. Then I started, why not I should myself try and go out if I can do that. So yeah, that was the beginning of it. And somewhere around in 2017 or something, in the later half, I started searching for job opportunities, and then almost about took about 1 or 2 years for me to hunt, and finally I landed here in Ireland.
And
So
why Ireland? I mean, you have US, you have other countries
frankly
too.
speaking, yeah. Frankly speaking, I was not even aware of there's such a country like Ireland who is taking IT as a boom there. So
Yeah.
initially, I was targeting US, Dubai, and UK. So somehow, my office does has a presence in UK as well. So somehow they got hold of my resume on LinkedIn, and they had an very hot opening. So they contacted me from there, and they gave me Ireland as a posting
Basically.
location. So here I
Okay, you
am.
chanced upon Ireland.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
as you rightly said, even when I was applying, I know there was a country like Ireland because of the cricket matches, but I did not know Ireland is, a great country for IT software professionals to work in.
Mm.
And given that you are in Ireland now, that too in Dublin, what are your first thoughts on Ireland?
Very cold. That's the very first thought when I landed, just freshly out of the airport. That was the very first thought
What
which hit
what
my
was the
mind.
month?
I landed in March, actually, which is
Uh,
the onset of the summer itself. But the kind of coming from a very hot and tropical climate and coming here is like, uh, uh, I mean,
a
you,
big
you aren't
change.
prepared for that. It's a
Yeah.
very big change for you. So that was the thing. But frankly speaking, is once I got settled down here, it's a very beautiful country, and people are very good, very helpful, and very friendly people here around. And yeah, I mean there are some ups and downs here as well. Yet because as being saying specifically is uh, house hunting is a pain.
Yeah, house hunting is a pain.
Eventually you get one if you are smart enough, and you get the knack of how to apply for the houses and
Yeah.
also uh, and yeah, and that's it. It's a very good, like, and as it is, Ireland is famous for its natural beauty,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's a very pleasant experience up till now. So I have been around almost 2 years and above in Ireland now, so it's a very pleasant experience.
Yeah. Yeah. You did mention about searching for a job from 2017, if I'm not wrong, and you've been
Yeah,
applying to US and Dubai.
yeah.
And I mean, I understood your motivation that you want to work outside India, but again, when you started, what kept motivating you, and how did you find time, or if you're applying for Dubai, what was the website you would go to? And
Yeah,
if you're
so
working,
actually, as I said earlier, so being a software engineer, I had my dream, like I have to go on site, but somehow it didn't happen and started working. So uh, when I in 2017 in the second half, I remember, like, I was working for one of the companies and I was working night shifts there. So
Mhm.
it was really a pain for me working night shifts. So
Yeah,
but I took that night shift working as an advantage for me, and I used to stay online on all the, or most of the portals. So yeah, the basic portal is LinkedIn, where you can reach out globally. So that was the thing. I used to chat with people, those whoever was online. I used to send invitations to everybody and like that. And actually, I made it a habit for me to at least search for a job for at least 1 or 2 hours daily. So
yeah,
I made that habit, and ultimately it gave started giving me some responses. I could see uh, me going in such a direction, like I mean, frankly speaking, like once you start the job hunt, there are a lot of questions in your mind, like how do I approach to companies outside India? How to talk with them? How do I change my profile to so that I can be shortlisted? And also, it's a stepwise process. So you have to conquer your own problems or your own questions one by one. So it's
yeah,
a step process. Every question you get, you search about it, you conquer it, move ahead. So I searched about that, and eventually I could see the changes in myself, in my profile as well. And eventually, after about 7 or 8 months, I started getting responses, and I could see the changes, and it was a good experience there. I learned a lot about it, how how to reach out globally, actually.
yeah, yeah. There is
And
this fear of failure always running behind our
yes,
mind.
yes. So, frankly speaking, there was no one went outside of India in my family. So that I was the first guy to go outside there, and
Congrats, congrats.
so that was I mean, a bit of a fear in the back of my head, and but still I kept myself, I was pushing myself and determined to, now I want to work outside. I have to go outside. So that was the motivation, and yeah, about 2 years, about one and a half year of search, and I landed here.
Yeah, yeah. Again, this is, I mean, to my friends too, and even to the subscribers, I keep telling this, if you have a target in mind, keep doing it. It may take 2 months, 3 months, 3 years, but again,
Yeah,
eventually you will be reaching the goal which you set for yourself.
correct, correct. I mean, persistence is the key.
Yeah, yeah, persistence is the key. Yeah. So again, now you told me that, around 18 months you've been searching and you finally got job and moved here.
Mhm.
Again, for landing your first interview and cracking it, did you face a lot of problems, or was it easy, or did anyone help you to get that particular interview?
Actually, I will not say it was easy because, as I said, I had a lot of questions in my mind, like how do I upskill myself? How do I stand out of rest of the lot so that I get recognized, my resume gets selected there, at least I get shortlisted for the interview or something like that. And I mean, every question these are some basic questions, like everyone will be having those whenever they start a job search. So you have to conquer every question one by one. It's not like what you can say. It's not like a overnight thing. Like one day you apply and you get the job the next day. So you have to go
Yeah,
stepwise, upskill yourself, increase your presentation skills, increase your selling skills, because interview is nothing but you have to sell yourself, right? So you have to
exactly,
be good,
exactly.
you have to good in that as well. So you have to increase your vocabulary, you have to increase your speaking communications, even your documentations in your resume, like how
Yeah,
you prepare that. And these are lots of things you need to take care of, which I eventually understood myself over a period of 4 to 6 months. And later on I could see, like, okay, now I'm at least getting some responses from wherever I'm applying. So that is the thing. So I mean, it wasn't easy, but it was a learning process for me.
okay, okay. And now, first question would be: is my resume fit for the foreign countries? How did you conquer
Yes.
that as an example for our
So
subscribers?
as an example, I would say, like, normally what happens is you are freshly out of the college, right? And you have some a very small Word document kind of resume where you just state line by line everything you know, and your curriculum and activities and everything. Okay. And later on, what happens is, as you move ahead in your job profile, you just keep editing the same Word document. You don't tend to change the template as well. It's a very rare scenario where people actually think about it and change the template, make it more presentable. So that is the thing. So I simply changed my entire resume, and I had actually 2 or 3 types of resumes prepared with me handy, depending upon the job profile.
Hmm.
That is the thing. That's the foremost thing you need to do. Make your resume presentable. Select a very unique format which you can get. You can download it from Google or anything, and you can just select it. You can edit your resume according to that format, and keep at least 2 3 types of resumes, 2 3 kinds of resumes available with you handy, whichever job position you are targeting for that.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you're targeting for, if you are a technical person, you can target for a technical job as a developer, you can target as a team lead, you can target as a manager.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to keep 3 resumes available with you, so you never know, like, which opportunity will strike and you need to send a resume. You won't want to waste time in editing the resume at the moment and then send it.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
That is one of the examples.
Yeah, that's a really nice takeaway. I mean, I usually do that too, uh, because when if with a single skill set, you can apply for multiple jobs, multiple roles. Though it,
Correct.
yeah, with different again
And
different skill
I
set
would
which we develop.
also, the second thing is, giving you as an example, is you also want to upskill yourself constantly.
Yeah.
So you don't want to stick into only one technology there. So you need to have a backup and a support for the technology which are adjacent to your technologies.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So you need to have that, and but it should not be the case like a jack of all and master of none. You
Yes.
need to have a primary skill set which you are thorough with, plus you need to have adjacent skills with you. It makes a more impact. Like, giving an example is, like, in India, what happens is, if you are assigned to a technology, you are assigned to a technology. You work on that until you reach a managerial level.
Yes.
That is the thing. You don't upskill yourself, or you don't, like, imbibe, you don't grow horizontally there. You
Yes.
don't spread your wings horizontally to get the related technologies into you. So that is the thing. That is what is happening there. But once you come out of India, you see, like, a developer is also doing some BA work. He's
Yeah,
also doing some testing work. He's also doing client communications. He's also doing other stuff. So you have to be a global thing. Like you need to have all kinds of abilities in you, so
yeah.
that you come upfront from the rest of the lot.
True, true. And here they usually not just look for your technology skill, but they also look for the peripheral skills around the main
Right.
technology you work on.
Because if you see, if you leave apart the level 5 companies, CMM level 5 companies, if you leave those, so the rest of the companies are mostly like they need multi lingual or multi technology persons with them.
Yeah,
So there's no concept of bench policy here outside India. That's what I find actually.
yeah,
uh, they recruit only those which are required and who can work on multiple technologies. So
true,
that is the thing outside India. So you have to be prepared for that.
true. Does your skill set, I mean, the current skill set, has more jobs in Ireland or very few?
So actually, contact center. I'm majorly working on the contact center itself. So contact center in itself is a very I can say a restricted environment. So
Mm-hmm.
not more much companies work in this field, but uh, as as in Ireland, our company is what I can see is is standing out as a Cisco global partner, gold
Mm-hmm.
partner here in Ireland, and so but uh, stating that like what the adjacent technologies what we have with contact center is networking, network securities
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it's just a very vast technology, but yes, if you just leave the contact center aspect out of it, but rest of the applied technologies, there's a lot of humongous scope in Ireland right now. And with the Brexit thing going on, Ireland is I mean it's more chances of becoming a next IT hub in Europe. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, they have their data centers in Ireland. So even
right,
these data centers have network engineers and
right.
other jobs related to network security
Yeah.
and all.
So as I said earlier, like
Mhm.
you have to like you have to upskill yourself, and you have to be on the technologies, versed with the technologies which are leading in the market.
Yeah.
So if you say networking, so networking is a very wide scope, but if you categorize that, so if I say network security, you have to be at least given some certification on network security. You should have that.
Mm-hmm.
You should be versed with Python, which is your again automation for networking and all.
Yeah.
You need that. So you have to be versed with all these kind of technologies, at least not hands-on, but at least keep yourself versed on that.
Okay. When you say upskilling, did you do few certifications during the process when you were searching for jobs?
Actually, there were a few certifications, but almost like a decade before these certifications went off the chart. Like there are no exams for these contact center technologies right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So, but what I did is I am basically a contact center developer.
Mm-hmm.
So I started as that, and I gradually increased my horizontal path into some adjacent technologies like how the servers work, like UCC, UCCX, or your ICM, or your other kind of technologies, even Avaya or even Genesis, like those
Mm-hmm.
kind of technologies. I expanded my scope over there. So eventually I was able to do something or the other in the entire
Mm-hmm.
flow there. So that was the thing.
Yeah, okay.
That is how you need to at least grow horizontally. If you want to grow up quickly, you
Mm-hmm.
have to first grow horizontally.
True. I completely agree. And a lot of people who search for jobs from India, they always think that, in foreign country, there's a nice pay, nice quality of life and all and all and all. And given that you worked in India and here, what's your view on pay here in India and job experience or like quality of life? Just the
Yeah, of
comparison.
course. Yes. Quality of life definitely good, better. Even I mean, starting with the air quality itself, you can just The day I landed and I came first step out of the airport, like it was so fresh and a cool breeze is coming on. Like I was like mesmerized with that moment. I can still remember that moment, my keeping my first step out of the airport. And yes, I mean life quality is good, very good actually. But what happens is this is from my friend's experience and my personal experience as well. What happens is when we are back in India, we see like uh, they are on site, they are earning more, they're doing things differently. Like they are earning. It's always greener on the other side. But when you actually come here, so then you realize, okay, working on a single working as a single person, living sharing rooms with like 4 or 5 guys, and then I mean the money aspect actually turns out to be the same as you were in India, unless
Mhm.
you are sharing with more people.
Mhm. Mhm.
So either you want to save or you want to compromise on your lifestyle.
True.
So that is the thing. So even I'm not discouraging people, but you need to be prepared for these kind of scenarios. So
Mhm.
one thing is, in India we pay like about, even if your salary is about 20 lakhs, then you give I think it's 30% state tax.
Yeah.
But when you come in Ireland, it's like 20/40, so almost 60% tax you are paying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It runs in a 20/40 scheme.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. So most of your income is actually going in the taxes. Like
Yeah.
I'll tell you one example. One good example here is the other day I was talking to one of my friends. Like he's some working in some other company, and he received a bonus from the company, the Christmas bonus, and he was saying like he received a Christmas bonus and half of it was taken away in the taxes. So I said,
Yeah.
I mean, that is the thing. So the taxes are high enough, but yes, if you see, if you are like good with staying, sharing the rooms and all for a single person, then saving aspect increases. So yes,
Yeah.
definitely you can save. But the experience you get coming out of India and working with other cultured peoples, like it's awesome experience. It's a lifetime experience, and
Yeah. Completely agree. Again, once you own a house, a place here, then
yes,
your expenses drastically come down. Like, for example,
yes,
my own
that
budgeting.
that is the one thing in Ireland. Like
Yeah.
if you are house hunting, then for if you are house hunting for rent, actually the rent takes up your 60% or 60 to 70% of your salary. That is the one thing.
Yes.
But
Sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, but on the other hand, if you buy a house, actually you are saving all that money. It's just 20 or 30% you have to pay as a home loan EMI.
Yes. Yes.
That is the
Yes.
thing. So,
Yes, you are completely right. Like with respect to money in India and here, there are a lot of tax credits in India. There are lesser tax credits here. There's
yeah,
HRA in India. There's no HRA here. And the thing is, most of your salary or 80% or 70% of your expenses in the month are actually towards your rent.
yeah,
And
yeah,
food-wise, within our, when me and my wife stay here, so uh, we spend 200 to 250 euros a month. Again, that would be very similar to what I would spend in India.
yeah.
The rent is one, like I would be paying 10 times the rent I would be paying in India currently.
Yeah,
That's
that's it. I mean, even
uh,
if someone who is married and who is looking out to come across in Ireland here, so you need to be prepared. Like you
yes,
both have to work. If you want to save, you both have to work. If you want
yeah,
to live separately, at least rent a house separately, you will both have to work. You have to
exactly.
keep that exactly in mind before even you are starting a search.
Yes, completely. Both have to work. The good thing is, critical skills, the dependence of critical skills can work here. That's a good news. If people want to come here and both wife and husband work
Yeah.
in India, they can also work here with ease.
Correct. That's a very plus point you noted there. I mean, if you're most of the technologies in IT industry are covered under critical skills. So once you get a critical skills work permit, your dependent can work here. That is the
Yeah,
very foremost thing, which is not the case when you go in Dubai or even
US. Yeah,
US.
yeah,
They have removed that clause now. So that is the thing. That's a very good thing. Even your spouse can work here,
exactly, exactly.
and doesn't matter if he or she is in IT or not. She can
Yes.
get they can get a job here anywhere. Like I'm telling you, my wife works in sales. she used to work in sales, but when we moved here, she definitely got a job within 6 months of we land coming here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. True. True. And yeah, we compared India and Ireland a lot now. Uh, Coming back to the jobs, how do you see the job opportunities in Ireland for software developers or the software industry in general?
Okay, so as 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 we have discussed it earlier also, with the Brexit thing coming in picture, so UK is moving out of the EU. So now Ireland is becoming a hub now for the most of the IT companies. So even you say the Amazon AWS has their data center here. They have shifted their data center here. Google has their main office here.
Yeah.
Facebook has an office here. All the major companies, even Tech Mahindra has an office here. So all the major companies, you can say, like everyone has a presence in Ireland. So Ireland is bound to become a I can say not a major, even if not a major, but at least a comparable IT hub. So
Mm.
with the major players coming in, I mean the technologies is not a limit now. Everyone can apply here, but the only thing I would suggest is the grass looks greener, yes, definitely, but you need to be well versed on the upcoming technologies.
Yes.
So that is the only catch you need to have. So if when I say upcoming technologies, it can be Python, it can be something in DevOps,
Yeah.
automation, or whatever new technologies are coming in. You have to be well versed here to move out of India.
True. 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 And one more thing which I forgot to ask earlier,
Mhm,
when you got job from India, most of
mhm.
the, I mean, when you're applying for jobs, one thing which runs in everyone's mind is sponsorship. How can I convince the company that they can sponsor me? And even the companies will interview you only when they're ready to sponsor. That a catch 22 situation basically. One is they interview you and at the end they say, oh, we can't sponsor you to come here. The second thing is the company is ready to sponsor and then they interview you. So what was your situation, and did you face any difficulties in you know making the company agree to sponsor you?
Okay, so I would say in my case, it was like the company itself sponsored us.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And as a speaking globally for Ireland, like uh, most of the companies in Ireland will sponsor you.
Hmm.
So the sponsorship works in two ways. Frankly speaking, it works in two ways. For some companies, it's different. For some companies, it's different. So for some companies will upfront give you the sponsorship letters, will upfront apply for your work visas and
Yeah.
everything. But some companies, what they do is actually this was an incident with one of my friends.
Mm.
So what they do is they apply for your work permit and work visas, but you will have to pay for that. So that is the
Mhm,
other thing.
mhm,
So
mhm.
that is perfectly fine. I mean, I'm not there's other things as well going on, which I would ask everybody to stay away from is the consulting firms or the
Yes.
consulting agents you call them, who upfront ask you for money just to get you some interview calls.
Yeah.
Please don't fall trap to those guys.
True. There's no concept of consulting companies in
Most of
Ireland.
the people have wasted their 4-5 lakh rupees with these consulting firms. They in from India, they just pay these firms. They show them a big picture. We'll give you a job. You will earn this much and that much. And but the things are different. You yourself can do those stuff. It's not required to pay money to these agents.
True. True. Completely agree. In India, there are a lot of gullible people who get cheated, by these selling agents that, we
Correct,
get you a
correct.
job in foreign country, we make your life easy, you learn so much in that. But people need to understand there's no such thing. They need to do everything on their own if they want to move outside India and work in any Western country or, even in the Eastern
Yes,
Asia.
yes. So, as I said, sponsorship is not an issue. Companies do sponsor you, or even when you have an interview or a offer letter of the companies with you, you yourself can sponsor your own visa. But the requirement is you need to have the offer letter of that company with you.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, that I
Yeah.
mean, that is like sponsorship is not that, and it's very easy to get the work visas with you. And
Exactly.
for the immigration visas, it's very cheap, guys. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Last question for this session. Uh, any takeaways for the guys who are hunting jobs and want to work in Ireland? I mean, guys in India, and how do they prepare or improve their chances to land a job in Ireland?
Okay, what I'll do is I'll point wise summarize you the what you need to do. First and foremost, update your resume. Have 2 3 sets of resumes prepared, different kind of sets for different positions. That's the first thing. Then you need to be upskilling yourself all the time. Have grow horizontally. That I would say grow horizontally as well. Second thing is you need to be well versed with the leading technologies. At least have some sample code ready with you. Do some coding with those technologies and have something to get the gist out of how stuff works. Because these are the things the interviewers will ask you in the questions.
Mm,
Uh, uh, then second thing is you need to make a habit of at least sitting 1 to 2 hours for a job hunt. It is good if you can overlap the time zones, whichever country you are targeting. If
mm,
you overlap the time zones, it is very advantageous to you, because it might happen like the job will be available on the portals for a few hours.
exactly.
If they get a lot of applications, they will remove that job from there. So
Yes.
that is the catch. That is why I'm saying you need to overlap at least some time. Uh, then uh, yes, LinkedIn is your best chance of job hunting. And if you can get hold of some local websites of that country, it is well and good. If not, LinkedIn your best hope.
Perfect.
And last and foremost thing is you need to be have patience. You need to be consistent in your efforts, and you need to have determination that these things will happen. As I said, giving my example, it took me almost 1.5 years to land a job outside India. So things will happen. Just keep patience and fight with determination.
Thank you, Tejas. I mean, those are all wonderful tips, and I'm pretty sure many of my subscribers who are living in India and want to work in Ireland will definitely follow them. I mean, to be honest, those are all fantastic tips. If I was in India and working there, I would be following them exactly to land myself a job in Ireland. Again, thanks for being part of this video and giving that great tips for people to follow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.